Hello everyone, today I'm looking at Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Oh my god. So, my tagline for a while has been, if you own a Switch, the only reason you do is in order to play Ultimate, because I've never seen a game live up to its namesake like this before. It is really the most ultimate experience for Smash Brothers in terms of multiplayer and everything. The only thing this game does not have that people do miss is the Subspace Emissary. It does have a single player mode called the World of Light, where you go around like fighting trophies and certain characters in certain areas, unlocking more of the map and unlocking more characters that way for multiplayer. But it's not quite the same as like one cohesive story. And, you know, there are some cutscenes. There's like a handful of them showing that, you know, people are getting turned into statues, and, you know, they are able to show almost every main fighter. I mean, the roster has completely ballooned at this point to so many different characters across multiple new IPs. The fact that we have Cloud from Final Fantasy, the fact we have Bayonetta, the fact we got Hero. Well, I mean, that's a different story about the DLC, but for the base game, it still blows my mind to like insanity how good this game is. Not only is it, you know, a bigger roster, but it feels as good as Melee's combat. It is fast, it is fluid, it is the new kind of tournament standard holder, and it is just so much fun. Oh yeah, Mega Man. That's a like freaking like what the heck, you know? It's almost like anyone can be in Smash now. And I guess the one downside of that is that part of the roster has been really infested with a bunch of Fire Emblem characters. It was kind of in this time in the mid 2010s that Nintendo wanted to really boost the Fire Emblem games, and they were releasing a ton of them back to back from like houses or Fate. I actually don't know. I'm not really a super huge Fire Emblem fan, but there's like quite a lot of them, and they're all very similar. That's the one thing that people talk about. They call it, you know, Super Fire Emblem Brothers at one point. Even one of the DLC guys is a Fire Emblem guy, and people like groan. It was like, oh my god, can you please stop? But yeah, this game is just excessively fun, and just again an overall joy to play. Like they've brought back almost like 99% of all the past characters and all the past levels. It is absolutely insane to see how much content there is in this game, how much quality, and how they kind of give a fair share to each character. They even did this whole thing where they separated Sheik and Zelda into separate characters, and so now Zelda's down B is a different thing, and so is Sheik's down B. Just the scope of this game is honestly insane, and it's the one game where I feel like it's actually kept building out its scope for what it wants to do as a video game, while a lot of games have kind of reached their vision of like what they wanted to accomplish, and now they're just kind of like, I don't know, you know, it's like what now? I don't know. Again, they'll do a lot of different things now. So instead of trophies, they have spirits in the game. And so what they kind of function and work as is kind of these filler places for other characters they couldn't put in the game, or other side characters that are a reference to other things. So they'll say like, oh, hey, here's Rob, and he's being a guardian from, you know, Breath of the Wild or something. And so you're going to imagine like, oh yeah, I could see that. Sure, why not? And there's also a lot more stamina battles in this game, a lot more battles revolving around time and other sort of special scenarios like that. And yeah, I think the only thing that has been toned down is the item roster, which I don't really mind, because there are some items that were just not very useful, and so now, you know, they just have cut back on some of those. There's still definitely the scope of, you know, different Pokeballs, and they have Master Balls now, and like, oh my god, like so many different. They also brought back Kid Icarus's gun, which was super cool, and you can assemble that and use it to kill guys. It's funny though, because in Brawl they had a Dragoon, and that was for Kirby, and it's basically the exact same function. And so that they've also added that as well. But another thing that they did in this game that I guess I'm kind of conflicted on is they obviously changed a lot of the final smashes, mainly because some final smashes were simply, they were kind of put in place at one point in time, and they kind of worked, in that capacity. Like they'd be like a one-off, one-hit kind of things, and they would do all the damage, while other final smashes, like Fox's, for example, he'd get in his Lilat tank or whatever, and he'd have to basically, attack. And there's the possibility that if the enemy was in a tight space or like below you, you literally could not get to them, and you'd waste your smash ball for basically nothing. So they wanted to make it this one thing where you get the smash ball, you hit the enemy, and you do your attack and whatever, and then that's it. So this whole kind of controllable smash attacks with like, Snake using, like a helicopter, and you have to aim and fire, has kind of been done away with, and it's now replaced with. And yeah, so Snake, I mean, his final smash, it does still have some control where you have to highlight the enemies that you want to take out, but still there's a chance that they can dodge them, whatever. But it's a lot more streamlined. It's not like you're on the helicopter and you are aiming at the thing anyway. But yeah, no, Smash Ultimate has become, it was my addiction for like at least a year. I played it almost definitely every weekend. It's the kind of the social thing that we would get together and do. It's a great party game and an even better, a competitive game, apparently. But yeah, I simply adore it. With spirits, it's really interesting because there's a whole spirit meta where, again, they've swapped out for trophies, and it's really smart. They just take a JPEG, so they don't even have to model it, and they just use the JPEG, put like a bunch of particle effects on it, and throw it into the system, and then it becomes this thing. It's honestly a really smart design choice, I guess, and it just works, I guess. I find it very stupid, but yeah. Also, I've never really mained a character in Smash games. I've always tried to do my own thing. However, the one character I ended up using consistently, because it's like there's so many characters, is actually Daisy, who's just like Peach's Echo Fighter, but I don't know what it was about Daisy. I just really gravitated to her as a character, and I love using her moveset, and I actually really just enjoy playing as her. She feels like very, I don't know, I just like the fact she can do a counter. She has this float ability. She's able to like throw the turnips, and I got really good at my turnip game, because the turnips, what I like about them is they don't seem like they do a lot of damage, but they actually do. They do like 10% of damage, and especially if you can grab it again after you've hit them and do it again, it feels really good. I love her side B because it always goes in a slight angle, so you can like measure the arc of her attack, exactly where it goes. And she just has a good attitude, and I love her air attacks. So like your top A with like the rainbow, whatever. I don't know. I really got good at Daisy, and I love her alt costume, specifically the black and green one. I don't know. That just became my character for this game, and I didn't really anticipate or want that, but that's just kind of what ended up happening. But yeah, the other thing I love about Smash Ultimate is now we have even more music to choose from, and so now every stage I've like fully optimized. The way I do it actually is I don't tend to do any sort of like mixture of like 50%. I always do 100% for only the songs that I want. So a stage will play one song, max two songs. Final Destination, that's an exception. There's like every song is good for that one. And it's really interesting that when Smash launched in 2018, like this is one of the best games ever made. And if you own a Switch and you don't own Smash, like you are absolutely wasting the potential of your Switch, along with not owning one of the Zelda games for it, because those are the two main games that I play almost religiously on this console. The other thing that the meta around spirits is that there are major spirits that give you a boost, and then they can sub-equip sub-spirits. And the main difference is that the main spirits can actually level up as you use them or send them to the dojo. And I don't know what this says about me, but I went fully autistic, and every single character that I can, every single main spirit, I've leveled to level 100, and I've put them through the dojo in all skills, even ones that aren't relevant to them. And yeah, that took me quite a while, quite a grind. And I know I just went with it, and I just kept going with it. What I also love about Smash Ultimate is that when you start the game, basically everyone has been defeated, and it's up to Kirby to essentially save everyone. So when you go to the roster, you only have Kirby, and as you beat the other characters, they join the roster. But I really like that, how you start with one and you just balloon to like everyone else. But yeah, I fully maxed out, there's also this other mini game where you have to fuse spirits together to summon special spirits. And so I, had to do that. And what I'd always do is always get 2 versions of each spirit so that I'd have their core version after you sacrifice them for using for the summoning, and also their main spirit that I can actually use in game. And my kind of final spirit, creation or, final version was, my best team was, there was Metal Philanthropist, which just turns you giant and metal at the start of the match. And like, no matter what, you're almost guaranteed to win with that because you're just so freaking powerful. And besides that, my other one was, it's very simple, straightforward stuff. You choose your primary spirit, which is good at throwing or something, and then all of your sub-spirits are good at also that aspect of throwing. And so you can also save your teams, and so I maxed out my spirit teams at like 99 or something, I think is the limit, or 80 or something. And so I was able to essentially max that out and have a kind of spirit for every situation. Even though they're only used for very specific scenarios, I still wanted to go with that. Aside from the spirit, or was it World of Light, there is also the normal campaign for each character, or the arcade or whatever. And so in that mode, you fight a series of enemies. Each one is thankfully different. It's not like the old Smash games where there would always be a mix-up. There would always be you were fighting the same people, but it's always a mix-up and a customized kind of set of characters. And what's really cool is that as you progress and get points in this mode, it goes along this giant mural, which is really, really beautiful. And it shows this giant collage of all the characters in the game. And again, it's a very nice, very cool thing. And of course, if you get the max points, 999, you get to the very right end and you see all the characters and all the villains in their ultimate form. And just a very cool little thing to look at and see. Another big thing is that Mario's moveset has also been changed in this game. He now has Flood as his down B. So that's like another big change. And some other characters have gone through some changes. Like, for example, Link is now Breath of the Wild Link, which I'm not super fond of, frankly. I really miss Ocarina and Twilight Princess Link, simply because those Links were the ones where they just had a different moveset and a different style to them, and they had a normal tunic. And this one, he's blue tunic from, again, Breath of the Wild. And also his arrows are slightly different, his moveset is slightly different, and his final smash is also slightly different. Again, you now have Peach and Daisy and all these other kinds of characters. Again, there are minor changes, but again, nothing to make me be like, oh, this has completely ruined this character. Everything honestly still feels really good, well designed, and just overall really, really nice. Another addition they made to this game is the Mii fighters, Mii Fist Fighter, Sword Fighter, and Gunner. So basically you can take your Mii and they gave them like a set list of movesets that you can use and basically create your own character. So if there's any character that isn't in this game, you could use them as a Mii fighter. And what's really nice about it is as they've released DLC for this game, along with the characters, they've also released Mii costume packs. It's like, hey, we can't put this person in, but like at least here's like a Mii sword fighter costume for them, for like Dante, Shantae. Friggin' the last one really shocked me, Doom Eternal. I can't believe they actually even reference Doom, since it's a very just non-Nintendo IP. It's just a very intense kind of game and not very Nintendo friendly at all. And again, other items that I saw in this game that I just didn't expect is like the Ramblin' Mushroom from like Earthbound. It's been a while since that game came out, and they're like, oh yeah, now's the time to bring in this item. I don't know. I just find it very interesting that there's certain items that have been removed and some that have been added that, didn't seem relevant. Essentially, I also love that the arcade mode is also always co-op, so the second player can choose whoever they want, but as long as first player is the main person, you get the achievement for doing that character. I guess speaking on the DLC, we might as well get into it and talk to it about it. It is just, I don't know, it's an absolutely amazing thing. The whole world of Smash speculation, you know, when Smash 4 and Smash for 3DS and Wii U came out, I really didn't care, partially because it was being made by Konami. It was this brand new kind of thing. It was on Wii U and no one owned a Wii U, and, you know, it kind of like, oh, this is kind of like Brawl number 2, and it's like they don't even have the returning characters of, like, I can't remember if Sonic and Snake are in that game or not. I really don't care because I never had an intention of playing it. And yeah, just in general, it's just kind of like I don't really care about this version of the franchise or of this thing in the franchise. It's just very whatever to me. I think what I love about Smash as well is the fact that every match you don't know what's going to happen. It's very unpredictable. There's going to be some weird item or some weird mix-up, and despite your skill level and who you're fighting against, you just don't know what's going to go down. And that's why I love Smash as a multiplayer game, because my worst thing about games is that when you're playing them and you just get repetitive or predictable gameplay, but when you have certain characters who essentially are able to always, you just have so many characters to choose from. There's always a mix-up, there's always a stage, there's always an item that makes something different, and that's why I love Smash Ultimate. There's always something new and different that's going to happen. No match is literally ever the same, and I'm so interested to see like what it throws at me next. But yeah, the DLC, the whole world of Smash speculation is just frankly insane. The fact that, okay, not only are these characters going to be in a Smash game, but they're going to be in a good Smash game, in a Smash game where they're like, everyone is here. And that was the tagline for this game. And it was a super big deal, that mode of, you know, Brawl and wondering who's going to be in, and the fact that as Sonic and Snake were in like a Nintendo IP were just absolutely insane, bonkers. And actually that's how, it's really funny that I think a lot of people, just from playing Smash, is how they get introduced to these IPs in general. It's like, oh wow, well, who's this guy? Who is Captain Falcon? Who is Snake? I had no idea who Snake was when I was playing him. I had no idea really who Ness was, even since, you know, Smash 1. It really is just amazing and interesting to me that it's because of Smash that I even bothered to deal with these characters and to get really into the fandom and the mix, you know, of these characters. I know I just only recently played Earthbound, but, you know, ever since his appearance in Smash Brothers, I'm like, oh cool, that's Ness, I know who that is. But I really had no idea who that was, and it's only by knowing the context that suddenly we can get an idea of what's really you know, going on and what really the game is about. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people just get introduced to new IPs, and so that's why it was so exciting to see, oh, what IPs are they going to bring in, what are they going to do, what are they going to shift, what are they going to, you know, bring out. And, you know, there's some things that, like, okay, we're going to give this an assist trophy, or we're going to give this, you know, like Crystal's an assist trophy, or you know, we're going to give this like a Mii costume or whatever, and is there, okay, or even a Spirit at the worst. So it's like, okay, they're in, but they're not really in. And so one exception was, I think, Min Min, who was a Spirit from ARMS, but she eventually became an actual fighter later on in the DLC. And so it's really interesting. And so it's really interesting to see in the DLC just who got in, and just the anticipation was just extremely palpable. And there were some really good ones and some really, really bad ones. There were some where, like, I really regretted buying the fighter pass, and then I really appreciated it, because they always typically save their best for last. So the first one was Joker from Persona. So already that was insane. The fact that I could have, you know, play Mass Destruction and have a Persona 3 themed like stage, was like insane. And eventually I'm only playing Persona 5 now, eventually, after all this time. And again, that was another reason for me to get into the Persona series, that it's in Smash. If it's in Smash, it's good enough to be there, essentially. Yeah, they basically release fighters every few months, and just everyone is always just super hyped to see what they made next. Besides Joker, there was, let me see, Byleth, there was Terry from, you know, a Fatal Fury, which frankly I did not care about at all until, like, I got used to his character and how he fought. And it was just this whole idea that Smash is a fighting game, which I don't agree with, but it's like, okay, we have to do whatever. Also, they had, you know, Ryu and Ken from the past games, and again, it's like, okay, that's cool, but like, Ryu is just literally a guy. And so it's an interesting question, is what qualifies someone to actually be part of the Smash universe. and it's kind of a hard thing to decide, but they need to have an identity, a style, a move set, a map, a song. They need all these things that make them kind of iconic in some way. Then they announced Hero from Dragon Age or Dragon Quest rather. So there were a lot of things that we were like, oh, yay, yippee. And they announced also Steve from Minecraft. And I will never, ever, ever get over effing Steve in Smash Brothers. I hate Steve. I have no issues really with Minecraft itself. I think a Minecraft stage would be absolutely fine and appropriate because that's what Minecraft is about. It's about the stage and the world. Steve as a character, who cares? Who gives a single crap about Steve? I'm serious. There is nothing good about that character. There's nothing interesting about Steve. He is literally filler for the player to fill the shoes of a character in this world. He has no personality, no an interesting move set, and Sakurai had to go through and what did he say? He had to remix every stage so it had a square blockage thing so it would line up with Steve's moveset. It is absolutely insane and just not worth it. Man. I'm not a fan of Steve. I'm Minecraft world, fine. Steve as a character, kill yourself. In fact, if I see you playing Steve in a match, I'm going for you. I'm going my hardest. I'm not playing for fun. I'm playing to murder you. I hate Steve. His aesthetic doesn't fit. Nothing about him fits. He does not belong in this game, just at all. It's just a very weird thing. I hate Steve. On the other hand, we did get Banjo and Kazooie, which was the peak. I mean, oh my god. Banjo and Kazooie in Smash was just insane. Just absolutely what people have been asking for years and finally fulfilled. And the other peak, again, was the last character they went out with, which was Sora. And that also was, again, just an insane peak. And Sora was so on point to for Smash because his whole shtick is about different hearts, different kingdoms, different people coming together and coming into this new reality where everything is possible and everyone's hearts are open and whatever. And Sora was definitely the ones on my top list that I was predicting that was going to be in the game. And again, just so blown away by the reception and how Sora thematically fit as such a good end. And of course, I forgot friggin' Sephiroth. I friggin' don't even almost register Sephiroth as in the game because he's too base. He's actually too cool to be in the game, and I almost forget that he's there. It's just so ridiculous. And that cutscene, they had so much fun with it where he impales Mario on a thing, but it's actually just by his little strap. So good, so smart, so creative. I love that. It's so well done. Again, I'm absolutely in adoration of this game and what it's accomplished. It is just absolutely insane as to what it can do, what it has done. It's just. I also love that they give alt costumes to some of the characters. So, for Joker, he'll have all of his normal colors, and then his costume will change to his day clothes. And again, that's just so cool. But yeah, the whole era of Smash speculation, of the fact of Smash was back for at least a couple years, where people were constantly waiting with bated breath to see who would be the next Smash character. And again, we had low points like friggin' ARMS, who cares? And friggin' Steve and another Fire Emblem character, Byleth, God help us. But then we had the highs of Banjo-Kazooie, Sora, and freaking Sephiroth. That was a whole day. The whole day was committed to that energy. And it was, oh man. And every time the characters were revealed, they also launched with a bunch of spirits from their franchise, as well as other spirits from other franchises that really surprised me. For example, they had this one thing where they had a bunch of spirits from the Resident Evil series. I was like, oh, cool. I guess that's something. They're at least acknowledging them. They'd be like, well, we're not adding a character, but we're at least acknowledging them in our thing. And so you could have Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine spirits, in your collection. And so, yeah, no, Smash Ultimate really is the ultimate, like, video game fighting thing. And what's great about it, it's mobile. I've been on trips in foreign countries where I've played it with different people. It's just been an absolute blast because it's a language everyone understands. It's a language of love for video games. And what else can you ask for, really? Of course, to make it Smash Ultimate, there is one last thing that you can do, which I think is the dumbest, scummiest thing they could have done. But the very last thing to unlock in Smash Ultimate to get the full absolute experience, besides getting all the DLC, is that for Sora, there is one basically song that is unlocked only by purchasing Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memories. And it's a full price game. It's basically a rhythm game they made for Kingdom Hearts, and it's just very, very not difficult to get, but it's just like it's a full price game. So you're just kind of like, okay, well, whatever. Why should I bother with that? And yeah, for me, it was always like, you know what? I love Smash Ultimate so much. I bought all the DLC of whatever. I will go out and buy this game and let anyone who needs it rent it, or just to get that last piece, that last unlock, that last DLC to finally make this the ultimate experience. This is, if I knew what this game was, this is going to be a game that I would pre-order and get all the extras for. There's some games I've done that for and been really disappointed in what I've gotten, but this is the game where it is the ultimate experience and it lives up to its namesake. And it's just, again, the most insane, mind-boggling, compilation of skill and talent and passion all together. If you own a Switch and you don't own this game, you're wasting your Switch. This is the game that just has the energy, it has the passion, it has what you need. And there's just nothing quite like it. This is Smash Ultimate, and I think I've talked enough at this point, but yeah, I love this game deeply. I love video games in general, and this is a love letter within a love letter. I love you, Smash Ultimate, and I hope that many people play you for years to come. And honestly, to that point, I don't know how anyone can actually top this, because the big problem is that the licensing agreements, all the music agreements, I don't know how they can relicense everything and like renew them again after this game comes out. So really, I'm looking at this game and I don't see how they can make it better, because they have to like relicense everything and bring back everyone for the next one. And I honestly don't think that's possible. So I think this is going to be the peak for a very long time, if not forever. And this is the Super Smash Brothers game. There's not going to be anything beyond this. And with that being said, that's it, guys. Take care and play well. Bye.